प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये श्रीराघवं दशरथात्मजमप्रमेयं सीतापतिं रघुकुलान्वयरत्नदीपम् आजानुबाहुमरविन्ददलायताक्षं रामं निशाचरविनाशकरं नमामि। व्यासो नैगमचर्चया मृदुगिरा वल्मीकजन्मामुनिः वैराग्ये शुक एव भक्तिविषये प्रह्लाद एव स्वयं ब्रह्मा नारद एव चाप्रतिमयोः साहित्यसङ्गीतयोः यो रामामृतपाननिर्जितशिवस्तं त्यागराजं भजे। So on this auspicious occasion of Chandramana Yugadi, the beginning of this year as per a new year as per lunar calendar, so the name of the year is Plava. So very nice name also. Plavanam means to cross over. Okay, and for bhaktas of Sri Rama, Rama Nama is the Plava. So yat padambujamekamev hi bhavam bodhe stitirshaavatam. So Tulsidas also says his Rama's feet is the only plava that we have. Plava also means something that you can hold on to so that you can cross. Is Rama's name alone, that is the the thing that we can hold on to in this samsara. And like Prasad ji had asked, we will listen to together, and kind of I will share some thoughts, and you are always welcome to share your thoughts too on these small kritis of Shri Tyagaraja. Tyagaraja's kritis are very simple. Only thing is the language might be totally alien to you. So it's the only thing. You either know Telugu or you don't know Telugu. If you know Telugu, Tyagaraja's kritis are almost kind of very easy to understand. Of course, there will be a difference in the language over the years. Tyagaraja is supposed to have lived about 170 to 200 years back, so he has lived. So there a little difference in language will be there, but otherwise very simple language. And even the kritis that we have initially selected, I haven't made a list or anything, but the idea is to listen to and discuss those kritis, mostly Utsav Sampradaya kritis or Divyanama Sankirtanam. So Tyagaraja Swami has written various types of kritis. So the Pancharatna kritis are very famous. They are called Pancharatnas because of the depth of the ragam also. They are called Ghanaraga Pancharatnam. And then there are many kritis on praising Rama. There are kritis where he engages in day-to-day conversation with Rama. There are some upasana rahasyams of Rama that he discusses through music. So the music that he practiced, he saw that music as Sri Rama himself, and as very nicely he shows in some kritis. So what is Rama? Rama's body, and then ragam and all that, he brings a nice blend. Then he wrote some ballets, so Prahlada Bhakti Vijayam and Nauka Charitram and all that. He writes those kritis, and then more simpler kritis like Divyanama Sankirtanam and Utsav Sampradaya kritis. Utsav Sampradaya kritis, they say there are some 20 plus or 40 plus kritis. Those limited kritis are called Utsav Sampradaya kritis, where day-to-day worship that he offers to Rama, he offers through those kritis. And Divyanama Sankirtanam is that part of Tyagaraja which is influenced by the Bhakti movement in the southern region, you can say, because that is where he offers kritis that we can all sing as a group also. Somebody can lead and the other person can sing along or follow him. Those are these Divyanama Sankirtanam. So as the name suggests, so they are praises of Shri Rama's name, Divyanama Sankirtanam. We have selected Divyanama Sankirtanam and Utsav Sampradaya. That is my idea. I mean, we don't know how we will proceed, but these kritis, so that in our day-to-day life, whenever we think of these kritis, or when we think of Sri Rama, we can connect to him through these kritis. That is the idea. So without much ado, we will start listening to the very first kriti. Is there anything else that I wanted to say? Perhaps not. So do let me know if the sound is not audible to you for the kritis. I am going to play. Even this is important. I will tell you about these songs once I start playing.
नमो नमो राघवाय नमो नमो अनिशम् नमो नमो राघवाय शुकनुताय दीनबन्धवे सकललोकदया सिन्धवे नमो नमो राघवाय श्रितदुरिततमो बहुरवये सतत पालिता भूतकवये नमो नमो राघवाय निज सेवक कल्पकतरवे अजरुद्राद्यमर सुगुरवे नमो नमो राघवाय दीनमानवगणपतये दानवान्तकाय सुमतये नमो नमो राघवाय नूतन नवनीत भक्षिणे भूतलादि सर्वसाक्षिणे नमो नमो राघवाय वरगजकरकुलित बाहवे शरजित दानव सुभाहवे नमो नमो राघवाय आयुरारोग्य दायिने वायुभोजि भोगिशायिने नमो नमो राघवाय नागराज पालनाय त्यागराज सेविताय नमो नमो राघवाय नमो नमो हरिशं नमो नमो राघवाय
Was the audio clear?
Yes, audio was clear.
Okay.
So in that picture, whatever came,
Ah.
so Tyagaraja Swami's face was being hidden with some rectangular block. I don't know why.
Oh. I don't know either. I didn't check. Let me see. When maybe we see the recording, I will know what exactly it is, so that.
Sure.
So these particular recordings that I was going to say, which are the link that I shared on, it is All India Radio Hyderabad's YouTube channel. They have some 108 collection of this, a playlist of 108 songs of these Divyanama Sankirtanams and Utsav Sampradaya Kritis. Originally, one of the things that happened during the lockdown last year is some of these old gems were, brought out, like even on TV, Ramayana, etc., was retelecast. Some of these gems were brought out on YouTube, and Chennai All India Radio channel they put these old programs long back. They got a series of programs for half an hour each, directed by Balamurali Krishnaji, of these songs. Under his direction, many singers sang, and each program was half an hour, and it contains these Utsav Sampradaya Kritis and Divyanama Sankirtana. All India Radio Hyderabad's channel cut it into songs and then shared it. So 108 songs over many episodes of 30 minutes each. So that is just an introduction to these videos, because mostly I might share them because of the quality of the audio are also very nice. So, and also we owe it to them. Therefore, I'm acknowledging that before we discuss. So Tyagaraja Swami has mostly written in Telugu, and because of his popularity, most songs in Carnatic music are in Telugu and then in Sanskrit. So these two, predominantly in Telugu, they say, and then in Sanskrit. So this is one of his Sanskrit compositions, and Tyagaraja Swami himself has written lesser compositions in Sanskritam than in Telugu. This particular song is supposed to be acknowledged like that in the tradition, that it is his very first song. There are reasons to believe also. The song seems very simple, the language is very simple, and there is nothing but Chaturthi Vibhakti in this. So just Namaha is there, of course, but then everything else, Namaha, Raghavaya Namaha, Anisham, but then Raghavaya, and then all other lines are just Chaturthi Vibhakti. Vyakarana Sutram says Namaswasti, Swaha, Swadha, etc. The long Sutram there, Yogacha. So that is, it ends like that, Yogacha. So when there is Namaha, Swasti, Swaha, Swadha, Vashat, and then one more thing, Yogacha. So when these words are there, you should use Chaturthi Vibhakti like that. That is a Sutram. So these words should be around somewhere. It need not be immediately preceding or subsequently, immediately preceding or immediately succeeding. Just somewhere in the sentence, if Namaha is there, then you should use Chaturthi Vibhakti, like Raghavaya Namaha. So Namaskara for the sake of Raghava. So that is in English, in simpler English, to Rama Namaskaram. Generally, that is the rule. Sometimes is Upapada Vibhakti, Karaka Vibhakti, etc. That discussion is there. Sometimes Dvitiya will come and all that. So Munitrayam Namaskritya, like that they say in Siddhanta Kaumudi. Be that as it may, general rule is whenever Namaha is there, Chaturthi should come. The entire song is in Chaturthi Vibhakti. Maybe Tyagaraja was just learning Sanskritam at that time in his childhood, and he composed, felt like spontaneously composing this song. Very simple in its language, even though it is in Sanskritam. So the simple meaning is Anisham. Anisham means again and again, incessantly. I do Namaskaram to Raghava. So Raghavaya Namaha. Namo Namo Raghavaya, Namo Anisham. So again and again he wants to do Namaskara, that he's saying also Namaha so many times, and then he's using word Anisham also. So Anisham also means incessantly. Raghavaya Namaha. So we have been seeing in Ramayanam Raghu. In Raghu's Vamsham, Rama has come, in the lineage of Raghu. And so instead of saying Ramaya, he's saying Raghavaya. Why should you call somebody by his, by some ancestor there in his family? That shows that gunams he also has. So Raghu himself was such a great king. So Kalidasa, this also I have mentioned many times. So Raghu Vamsham, he has called his Kavyam, So and then he very nicely describes in the beginning. So Shashti Vibhakti Shlokas, he has 4-5. Soham Ajanna Shuddhanam, Aphalodaya Karmanam, Asamudra Kshitishanam, Anaka Rathavatminam. Then Tyagai Samhritarthanam, Yashase Prajaye Grhamedhinam, Yashase Vijigishunam, Satyaya Mitabhashinam. Then Saishave Abhyasta Vidyanam, Yogane Vishayeshinam, Vardhake Munivrittinam, Yogenante Tanutyajam, Raghunam, Anvayam Bakshe. One more shloka is there, I don't remember. So 4 shlokas he writes there, describing the greatness of Raghu kings. All of them have these qualities in them. That's why Raghuvamsha Mahakavyam is supposed to be a Bahunayaka Kavyam, because some 6-7 kings are described there. Each of them is Nayaka. In that story, he becomes the Nayaka. So Soham Ajanma Shuddhanam Raghu. I'm just telling you one or two meanings. Otherwise, that class itself will go on this. So the greatness in calling Rama as Raghava, hey Rama, who belongs to Raghu's lineage. So why should he address like that? Because that he is referring to those qualities which are there in those ancestors of Rama. So Ajanma Shuddhanam, from birth itself, they are supposed to be very pure. So people, Aphalodaya Karmanam, if they undertake some task, they see to its completion. Aphalodaya Karmanam, Samudra Kshitishanam, they have ruled over the land as much as it extends to the oceans. That is, entire earth they ruled over. So Anaka Rathavartminam, their Ratha could go even to heaven. So they had free access to heaven. That's the idea. More importantly, Shaishavi Abhyasta Vidyanam, this also I have said earlier. And then so Tyagaya Samhritarthanam, they have acquired wealth only to do Tyaga. Tyagaya Samhritarthanam, Prajayai Grihamedhinam, they have married only so that they can continue the lineage. And then Yashase Vijigishunam, they have conquered people only for fame's sake. And then Satyaya Mitabhashinam, very often quoted Gunam, Satyaya Mitabhashinam. If you talk too much, then there is always the chance that asatyam will come out of your mouth. So Satyaya Mitabhashinam, they spoke very little, so that whenever they speak only the truth. That is the qualities. So, and then they are also great jnanis. All that is also there. Saishavi Abhyasta Vidyanam, in childhood itself they study. And then Yogen Ante Tanutyajam. So in the end, they all live their lives in yoga. So in Samadhi, they live their lives. Such kind of qualities he is invoking in Rama. So hey Raghava, Raghavaya Namaha, Tasmai Raghavaya, to that Raghava, my Namaskaram. So this is the crux of the song, my Namaskaram to that Rama. Now, in this entire, I have counted, there are totally 19 Chaturthi Vibhaktis, that is 19 names you can say he is referring to for Rama. So 19, I was expecting it will be 21. So that it is called, 21 is called Ekavimshati. So Puja, etc. Ekavimshati Namani, it's all very famous literature, in Stotra literature, 21 names for Bhagavan. This is 19, it falls too short. But then we have one famous technique which Tyagaraja himself has showed in his Jagadananda Karaka Kriti. So it is supposed to be Rama's Ashtottara. So there is the Ashtottara Shatanama. There is a great scholar of music called Nukala Chinna Satyanarayana Garu. He pointed out this one, as much as I know. Maybe before him also people wrote about it. So he wrote this in his book on Pancharatna Kritis, that the first Kriti is an Ashtottaram on Rama, which Tyagaraja himself has composed. But then that Ashtottaram gets completed only if you keep adding Jagadananda Karaka again and again. After every kind of stanza, you have to bring in Jagadananda Karaka, Jaya Janaki Prananayaka. Only then it will add up to 108. Like that here, there is one Pallavi and 8 Charanam, so 8 stanzas or whatever it's called in English. If you bring in Raghava again, so 19 plus 8 makes it 27. So it is like a mini Ashtotram. 27 twos make 54, 54 twos make 108. So in his childhood itself, he had that capability. No wonder that later he built up this great Pancharatna Kriti, which is Jagadananda Karaka, where he wrote 108 namams of Sri Rama. So 19 names, strictly 19 unique names, and if you keep repeating Raghava after every charanam, then it becomes 27. So Shukanutaya Dinabandhave, Shukanutaya Namaha. So my namaskaram to that Rama who is praised by Shuka Maharshi. So Shuka Maharshi, we know, is a great jnani, is a great Virakta person, and such a Paramahamsa he is. So that Paramahamsa also worshipped Rama. That's the idea. So Shukanutaya indicates there's a lot of meaning there. So he being a Paramahamsa, so like in Ramayana we chant this, before Ramayana Satsanga we chant, right? So Paramahamsa Swadita Charana Kamala Chinmakarandaya, Rama's Charana Kamala Makarandam is something that is relished even by Paramahamsas also. So even Sadashiva Brahmendra says Paramahamsa Khrit Panjara Kiram. So in Pibare Ramarasam, that's how he, of course all his songs end with Paramahamsa. So Shukanutaya Dinabandh, Shukanutaya in Bhagavatam, of course, Shuka Maharshi reveals the story of Rama in 9th Skandha, and then Indirectly, Shuka praises through the characters, like Hanuman praises. There is a very beautiful 2-3 lines of praise there. So one of the words he uses there is Sadhuvada Nikashanaya. This also I told you. So he's the touchstone of excellent conduct. Sadhuvada Nikashanaya Rama. And then I've told you this famous shloka also many times, something that I like a lot. So Tyaktva Sudustyaja Surepsita Rajya Lakshmin Dharmishtha Arya Vachasa Yadagadharanyam. So that Rama, who gave up that great kingdom of Ayodhya, which even Devatas desire, such a kingdom he gave up. Why? Because his father asked him. So Arya Vachasa, because that respected father instructed him like that. That father had to do it because of Kaikeyi's varam and all that, but still, so very simply he gave up the kingdom. And then that Dharmishtha, hey hey great Dharmavan, that is the idea. Yadagad Aranyam, you went to forest, and then Maya Mrugam Daitayepsitaya Daitayepsitam Yonu Dhavat Vande Mahapurushate Charanaravindam. So I'm not going so much into the details of that shloka, which we have seen once in Ramayana. So hey Mahapurusha te, so Vande Mahapurushate Charanaravindam, te Charanaravindam, hey Mahapurusha Vande, I do namaskar. These are indirect praises through some characters in Bhagavatam that Shuka Maharshi is narrating the story, to Parikshit. There are some shlokas where Shuka Maharshi himself is praising Sri Rama directly, and I have given 2 such shlokas here, both in 9th Skandha, because in 9th Skandha is where Sri Rama's story comes up. So there is a longer shloka and a smaller shloka. So for want of time, I will discuss the shorter shloka. So the longer shloka I am just reading. Gurvarthe Yaktarajyo Vyacharad Anuvanam Padmapadbhyam Priyayaha Panisparshakshamabhyam Mrijita Patharujo Yo Harindranujabhyam Vairupyat Churpanakyaha Priya Viraha Rusha Ropita Bhru Vijrumbhat Trastabhir Baddha Setuhu Khaladava Dahana Kosalendrovatan Naha. Naha Kosalendraha Avatat. May that Kosalendraha, the king of Kosala kingdom, may he protect us. Avatan Naha. So that is Shuka Maharshi's own stuti he is doing of Sri Rama. Similarly, so 9th and 10th chapters of Navamaskandham has Sri Rama's story. So you can see this from 10th chapter. 11th chapter is a smaller shloka, so maybe I might discuss that. Yasyamalam Nrupasadasu Yashodhunapi Gayantyaghagnam Rishayo Digibhendra Pattam Tam Nakapala Vasupala Kirita Jushta Padambujam Raghupatim Sharanam Prapadye. So Shuka Maharshi is saying Padambujam Raghupatim Sharanam Prapadye. That Raghupati who has such feet, to that Raghupati I take shelter in that Raghupati. So what kind of feet? Nakapala Vasupala Kirita Jushta Padambujam Raghupatim. That Raghupati, king of Raghus, prince of Raghu lineage, whose feet, whose lotus-like feet is worshipped by Nakapala, the ruler of heaven, which is Indra, Vasupala, local kings, all of them worship Rama's feet. To that Raghava, I do Raghupati, I do Namaskaram. So Yasyamalam Yashaha, whose great fame, so untarnished fame, whose untarnished fame, Adhunapi, even today, Shuka Maharshi is telling at that time, Adhunapi Nripasadassu, in the kingdom, in the assemblies of kings, so Rishayaha Gayanti. So Rishayaha means Rishis sing. Rishis sing the glory of Rama even today in the assemblies of great kings. That is what Shuka Maharshi is telling. And that Yashaha of Rama is Aghagnam. It destroys our sins. And then that Yashaha is so wide reaching that it is Digibhendra Pattam. So Digdantis, they say, even in that Balakanda story, we saw these Sagaraputras, they dig up onto the Patalam, and then they see this these elephants that is there in the center of the earth, like that they describe. So those elephants which are there in the dark underground, they are also shining, like reflecting Rama's yashas, it seems. They are shining because of the reflected light of Rama's yashas. That is the meaning, Digibhendra Pattam. So far reaching his glory is. So Tam Nakapala Vasupala Kirita Jushtam. So that the Kiritams of kings and Indra, those Kiritams are serving the lotus-like feet of Rama. That is, they are all doing Namaskaram to Rama. So very meaningful, at least if you see in Shuka Maharshi's time, it's meaningful, because Shuka Maharshi in fact starts Rama's Katha by telling Parikshit, by saying, Parikshit, you must have heard of Rama's story so much because so Rishibhihi, Tattvadarshibhihi, Bhuri, Bhuri Varnitam. So very nicely, again and again, exhaustively, Tattvadarshi Rishis have explained it to you, and you also Muhuhu Shrutam, again and again you have heard Shri Rama's story, etc. He says. So just for Shukanutaya, I brought in so much. Don't worry, I will not discuss so much for other things. Shukanutaya, to that Rama who was worshipped by Shuka. Who is worshipped by Shuka, you can say. To that Rama, my namaskaram. Shukanutaya Dinabandhave. So he who is the only, what should I say, ray of hope for helpless people, people who are in a helpless situation. Rama is the only ray of hope. He is the only bandhu, only friend or only acquaintance, only person that you can count on. That is the meaning of bandhu here. When you are in a helpless situation, the only person that you can count on is Sri Rama. So Annamacharya writes a very nice kriti, Akati Velala, Alapaina Velalanu, Tekuva Harinamame, Dikku Mariledu. So in those helpless situations, Harinamam alone is your refuge. So Dina Bandhave. So he is the only refuge, he is the only, let's say, person that Dinas can count on. So there is a Surdas Kriti also, Suneri Mane Nirbal ke Balaram. So I heard, hey Krishna, I heard that you are the Balarama of Nirbala. So those who have no other strength to count on, strength not just physically, of course, it's not the context there. Strength as in some support in life. You are the only ray of hope that these people have. Gandhiji's autobiography has a chapter called Nirbal Ke Balaram. It is one of his chapters in his autobiography. It's inspired from that song of Surdas. Suneri Mane Nirbal Ke Balaram. So Sakala Loka Daya Sindhave. Loka here means people. So Sakala Loka Daya Sindhave means, so you are to that Rama who is an ocean of compassion towards everybody. Sakala Loka Daya Sindhave Namaha. Namaha you have to bring in everywhere. So Shukanutaya Namaha, Dinabandhave Namaha, Sakala Loka Daya Sindhave Namaha, Shrita Durita Tamo Bahuravaye Namaha. My namaskaram to he who is like, let's say, many suns, Bahuravaye, towards the tamaha, that is darkness called papam, durita tamaha, of those who take refuge in him. So Rama is like, let's say, thousands of suns towards the darkness called durita of the people who take refuge in him. That is, Rama removes their duritam. That is the meaning. Shrita. Shritas means ashritas, people who take refuge in him. Their durita tamaha, the darkness of their duritam, towards that he is Bahuravi. Bahuravi means many suns he is. Shrita Durita Tamo Bahuravaye Satata Palitadhuta Kavaye. You see strictly how these things should be translated. Shrita Durita Tamo Bahuravaye, or take here Satata Palitadhuta Sukavaye. Palitadhuta Kavaye. I was thinking about it. I thought I will tell you in Tamil and to Shantaramji in Telugu. But then if I have to say in English, lo and behold, we don't pay attention. But the same way we translate into English also. Think about it. How to literally translate Satata Palitadhuta Kavaye. So in Tamil, if I have to say, so Satata, so Palitadhuta Kavaye, everything okay. So Palita, I don't know how to translate in Tamil. So he who protects. So Palikyapatta Kavigalai Kondavan, you have to say. So Kavigalai Kondavan, Kavaye here is that Adbhutamana Kavigalai Kondavan. In Telugu we say Palimpabadina, so Kavulanu Kaligina Vadu. So that we have to say in English. You see how you translate. He who has protected many Kavis, you have to say. Okay. So has there, we take it for granted. Kondavan we are saying in Tamil, in Telugu also we are saying similarly. He who has protected, that verb you are using for that past tense, has protected. But in Telugu, in Tamil, etc., how are you saying? He literally has those people with him. Like that, as though with that meaning we are translating. That is the literal meaning for that Satata Palitadhuta Kavaye. He who has always protected kavis, so poets. So that is the literal meaning. I don't know if I was making any sense, but then satata means all, satatam always. Satata palita means always protected. Adbhuta kavaye. He who has, here literally has with him. That is the literal meaning of that expression. He who has with him kavis who have always been protected by him. Satata palita adbhuta kavaye. And I told you, if there is one person, one character that kavis of at least up to medieval times, if there is one character that has been most sung, if you have to prove yourself, your worth as a kavi, then you have to praise the glory of Rama, as though it is the unwritten rule amongst poets. It is like that. We can see Bhavabhuti, Kalidasa, Valmiki, all of them. So Bhasa also took a lot of inspiration from Ramayana, of course Mahabharata also. So Satata Palita Adbhuta Kavaye. So great, so wondrous kavis they are, and they have all been protected by Rama. The idea is you protect these kavis, that is, you take care of these kavis, that is the meaning. But then in a formal sense, it is put like this: he has with him kavis who have been protected again and again. See, somewhere later it might come, he has with him enemies who have been destroyed. That means here those enemies are not there anymore. So that meaning it arrives at in that way. He has with him enemies who have been destroyed. That is, the enemies are no more there. So such kind of prayogas are also there. The literal meaning I am telling you. Of course, you take the spirit. That is, he killed those enemies. That is the meaning. Satata palitadbhuta kavaye. Then nijasevaka kalpaka tarave. Say that Rama, who is like the kalpaka taru, the wish fulfilling tree for the people who attend on him. Nija sevaka. So people who do some seva to him, towards them, he is like the wish fulfilling gem. And Aja Rudrad Yamara Sugurave. He is the great guru of even Aja. Aja means Brahma, the unborn Brahma. And then Rudra. Rudra is of course Shiva if you want. And then Rudradi Amara, other Amaras, other Devatas also. He is Suguru. To such a Suguru, Sugurave Namaha. Dhinamanava Ganapataye. So he is the Lord, overlord of one group, it seems. He is the leader of a group. What is that group? Dhinamanava group. So people again, so helpless people, for them, he is the only ray of hope, only protection. Dhinamanava Ganapataye Namaha. Danavantakaya. So he who has put an end to Danavas. So you see, mostly every line has two namams. Here there are three. Dinamanava Ganapataye, Danavantakaya, Sumataye. So that's how, so it is ending up in 19. Otherwise it would have been 16 or 17, something like that. So anyway, so Nija Sevaka Kalpaka Tarave, Ajarudra Dyamara Sugurave, Dinamanava Ganapataye, Danavantakaya. So he who has put an end to Danavas. So Danu's children, I told you, Rakshasas, Danavas are there, Daityas are there, Rakshasas are there, Asuras are there. This we have seen in Balakanda. So in some context we have seen the differences between them. Sumataye. So Sumataye means to Rama, who is an intelligent person. Sumati. Nutana Navanita Bhakshine. So this is like an amalgam of Rama and Krishna. We know famously Krishna is supposed to be Navanita Bhakshin. That is he who consumes butter. That is Krishna. And then here Rama is also addressed as Nutana Navanita Bhakshine. Nutana Navanita means butter. So Nutana Navanita means freshly churned butter. In fact, Navanitam itself means freshly churned. Navanita. So Nutana Navanita, freshly churned butter, Bhakshine. To him who consumes freshly churned butter, to him my namaskaram. Nutana Navanita Bhakshine Namaha. Bhutaladi Sarvasakshine Namaha. So he is the Sakshi, he is the witness. This Sakshi you can take in two senses. You know, in Puranas, how they say is, the Lord is witnessing all that you do, and tomorrow he's going to punish you later for your karma. That is one meaning. So like, or he will reward you for your benefits. If you go to Sri Shailam, so there is one Vinayak, first temple that comes, even before you enter Sri Shailam proper, you get Sakshi Ganapati. So there the Ganapati, literally the Vigraham will be like he's holding a book or something and a pen and he's writing. That is who all is coming to Sri Shailam. It seems he's entering there. Tomorrow after your death, he will tell Sakshyam that he has come to Sri Shailam. Some punyam will be given to you and you will be spared of all the punishment, whatever. So in that sense, Sakshine, if you want to take, but more importantly, in a Vedantic sense, so Sakshi here is the substratum, the uninvolved witness of everything that there is, beginning from Bhutala, beginning from earth itself. Bhutaladi Sarva Sakshine, the uninvolved witness of everything that there is. Bhutaladi Sarva Sakshine. Vara Gaja Kara Tulita Bahave. So he who has Bahu means arms. He who has arms, to him Namaskara. But then what kind of arms? Gajakara Tulita Bahu. Gajakara. Gaja means elephant, Kara is hands. So Tulita means compared. So his hands, Bahu, can be compared to the arms of an elephant. So the hind legs, not hind, the front legs of an elephant. So Varagaja, that too so very nice elephant. Sometimes elephants, if you see, so they will have some wound or something on the legs. So maybe they are not treated well or whatever reason, they have those wounds, pus will be oozing out and all that. Maybe not such kind of an arm. So if you show such an elephant and say Rama's hands are like elephant, then you will say, oh, Rama also has some wound on his hand. No, not that way. Varagaja Karatulita. So his hands can be compared to a very beautiful, very nice, healthy elephant. You can take it that way. Varagaja Kara Tulita Bahave Namaha. Sharajita Danava Subahave. Sharajita Danava Subahave Namaha. So Jita Subahave. See, this is what I told you. He who has Subahu, who has been conquered. That is, Subahu literally in the story has been killed. Maricha is spared and Subahu is killed, So he who has conquered Subahu with him. He who has conquered Subahu with him means what? So Subahu has been conquered. That is, he conquered Subahu. That is the spirit. So Sharajita Danava Subahave. He who has conquered this Danava called Subahu with his arrows. Sharena Jitaha Subahu Yena Saha Ramaha Tasmai Ramaya Namaha. Sharajita Danava Subahave. So he who has conquered, here killed, this Danava called Subahu by his arrows. To him, to that Rama, my namaskar. Ayur Arogya Daine, very important in these COVID times. So he's the one who gives Ayuhu, longevity in life, and then Arogya, health also. Ayur Arogya Daine Namaha. Vayu Bhoji Bhogishayine. So he who rests on a serpent. As Mahavishnu, he rests on Adisesha, So Bhogishayine. Bhogi means serpent. He who rests on a serpent. So Shayanam, So he sleeps on a serpent. Bhogishayine. But Bhogi itself is called, so serpent it's called. So they say serpent lives by eating air, they say. In Kavis, it's called Kavi Samayam. So poetic license, they describe such things. So Vayu Bhoji. So that which consumes Vayu is called Vayu Bhuk. So Vayu Bhoji Bhogi. A serpent who just consumes Vayu. Vayu Bhoji Bhogi Shayine Ramaya Raghavaya Namaha. Then lastly, Nagaraja Palanaya Namaha. So Nagaraja again. So Nagaraja here doesn't mean serpent king. You can take that meaning. But more because already this Bhogi Shayine, all that has come. Naga is also a name for elephant. Elephant is also called Naga. So Nagaraja is that Gajendra, Gajendra Palanaya, he who has protected Gajendra. You know Gajendra's story very well. So I'm just telling we know the story, but I'm just highlighting one point. Like I've said this recently also. Vyasa says Yatha Grihi, like a Grihastha is, like that this Gajendra is, he says. In fact, what he's trying to say, this Grihastha is like that Gajendra. That is what he's hinting at by saying that this Gajendra is like a Grihastha. That is a samsari. Grihastha there doesn't mean all sannyasis are really great. So even sannyasis have a lot of samsara baggage carrying with them. So samsari, that is the meaning there. So this Gajendra is the samsari. So even at the cost of taking time, I'm just telling you one point, which is Surdas in his very famous Kriti. What is that Kriti song? So I said famous, but I don't remember the beginning. So He Govind, He Gopal, Abuto Jivan Hare. That is the song. That's how it begins. So there he describes this Gajendra situation. So the way he describes, it doesn't look like he's describing an elephant. He's describing a human being there. Because there he says this Gajendra was immersed in water up to his nose and ears. Maybe I told this also. So nose and ears are on the same level for a human being, not for that gaja, you know. So naak kaan duban lage. So this to up to nose, and that's how I understood that song. Maybe the meaning is something else, but his naak and kaan are beginning to immerse in water. Till that level, he's now into water. That's the idea. So Nagaraja Palanaya there. So that is we are those Gajendras immersed in this samsara, and then Rama is the only refuge for us. He has to come. And then mind you, the grantha that Tyagaraja is supposed to have owned and then studied daily. So those days there was no press, at least so rampantly in India. I don't know in Western countries by then press would have come. But so you had to have a literally handwritten manuscript. You know, not everybody can have. See behind me in those two whatever cupboards, you will have about 1500 books. Don't ask me how many of them I read. But then, so Tyagaraja and people those days you didn't have like that. You can have some manuscripts, one or two. Tyagaraja is supposed to be a poor person also. So he had one manuscript with him, which is Potana's Bhagavatam. And one of the beautiful incidents in Potana's Bhagavatam is Gajendra Moksham, where Vishnu comes running directly. So in Vyasa's Bhagavatam, Vishnu comes on Garuda. Both wait for so long. Garuda has to come. To take it as a story, not that literally Vishnu will come like that, perhaps. But then, so Garuda has to come. He has to mount on it, give instructions to Garuda. Garuda has to take time to come. Tyagaraja himself says in some song. So Khagaraju Niyanati Vini Vega Janaledo. Maybe that Khagaraja, the king of birds, Garuda. Maybe he's not coming quickly. He has taken your instructions, but maybe he's taking his own time to come to me. I mean, he's saying, Rama, you have to come to me. But then maybe you're not coming because Khagaraja, Garuda is taking time to come. And then suppose you ask him, hey, why don't you go quickly? So he's telling Gaganani ki ilaku bahuduram baninado. Maybe he's saying, hey, don't prod me to go quickly. It is very far. So that Tyagaraja is on earth and we are in the skies, you know. So don't prod me to go quickly. There's a lot of distance to cover. Maybe he's saying like that. Such kind of poetic imaginations are there. So Potana said, no, nothing doing. Vishnu ran and came to Gajendra by himself. After coming, then he decided, then he thought about what to do. Now, how to save this Gajendra, all that he decided, he thought about later. But very first instinct was to run towards that. So we saw that story and all that. So that is Nagaraja Palanaya. When Tyagaraja is saying it, you have to bring in this because that is the book that he has read. He has read Potana's Bhagavatam. So therefore, these thoughts will be there in Tyagaraja's mind. He's imploring Rama. He's addressing Rama in that sense. Rama, you have to come in such a way, like you went in a hurry and protected Gajendra like that. Nagaraja Palanaya Namaha, Tyagaraja Sevikaya Namaha. So my namaskaram to he who is served by Tyagaraja. Tyagaraja, you can literally take the author of the song Tyagaraja, or you can take Tyagaraja Shiva also, you know. So in the village or whatever town, whatever you want to call, that Tyagaraja was born, which is Tiruvarur, which is where they say Muthuswami Dikshitar and Shyama Shastri was also born. There, the local temple in Tamil Nadu, in that belt, Tanjavur belt, etc., every village will have a big temple, huge temple. So the local temple there, and that is famous also, Tiruvarur temple. So there's the Shiva is called Tyagaraja. So he is named Tyagaraja because of that Shiva there. Because he's born in that village and that Shiva is the famous Tyagaraja there. So you can take that Tyagaraja Shiva. So to that, so my namaskaram to that Rama who is served by that Tyagaraja Shiva, you can say, or served by Tyagaraja, the singer of this song, you can say that way. And for us, you can take either of them. You know, when Tyagaraja is singing, I am singing it, he's saying, or maybe Shiva is singing it, he's saying. We can say, okay, Shiva is singing it, singing your glory, or Shiva is serving you, Tyagaraja is serving you, I also want to serve you. That also you can take that meaning. So this is this song, Namo Namo Raghavaya, Namo Namo Anisham. So Raghavaya, this word Raghu, also I explained somewhere in Ramayanam classes. I don't remember now. I think Raghi is the dhatu, something that we have seen. So Raghi Deepta, something like that. Maybe I'm just guessing now. So yeah, this is the song with which we have started today by Rama's grace. I hope it went well. We will see how this continues henceforth. So you remember this shloka on Tyagaraja. This in any session, suppose we finish earlier than 45 minutes, then I will explain the shloka sometime. So you might want to keep that in memory also. Okay. So we will end here, and next session we will see when we can schedule and do that. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and we have started this auspicious beginning of Vasanta Navaratri also. It's a lead up to Shri Ramanavami, you know. So it's a nice time also to start. Om yatra yatra raghunathakeertanam tatra tatra kritamastakaanjalim bashpavari paripurnalocanam marutim namata rakshasantakam mangalam kosalendraya mahaniya gunatmane chakravarti tanujaya sarvabhaumaya mangalam. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Tatsat. Shri Ramarpanamastu. So if you have